goodness. Excuse me. Ooh wee. I'm whooped. I'm whooped. I'm whooped. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Beat up. Damn. I'm so tired. Like, ooh. Ooh wee, ooh wee. Okay, okay. What are we doing today? Oh, I need to load. Oh, excuse me. Load the new schedule on here. Let me do that. Oh, I got earphones in. My bad. Ooh. I literally like have not been in the house like 10 minutes. We just got back. Um, okay. I need you. And then I need this. Ooh, what's this? Okay, okay. Oh, I forgot what I was coming here to do. Not you. Today, we are going to be, for Sex Ed with Coach Catasha, we're actually going to be talking about period tracking. So, today, just going through the different stages so you can know where stuff is, what's going on. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm like super low energy. I've definitely overextended myself, and I knew I was overextending myself, but after today, I'm done. It's a wrap. I'm sitting. I've had enough activity. I'm, yeah. Whew. Okay, okay. Okay, we got it downloaded, so let's get it uploaded to here. Let's get the newest schedule uploaded so that we can see. what we got going on. Excuse me. Sorry. All right, all right. So our schedule for the people, I mean for the week. Um, so today we're doing period tracking, of course. And then tomorrow we'll be closed because the city's having a parade for the, you know, NBA Finals champions, the OKC Thunder. Oh yeah, yeah. You heard me. You heard me. You did. You did. So we'll be having a parade. Um, so I will not be online tomorrow. We did have a class. I don't even know what's back there. Honestly, it's something supposed to be back there, but I don't know what's behind that block. Because as soon as we won, I was like, pep that over there. Let me pep that right on top of that. So Tuesday we will not be streaming, so y'all get a break. And then Wednesday we'll be back with Ask Coach Catasha. Of course, Ask Coach Catasha is our live Q&A. You can come in to the chat and you can ask me live sexual health questions about anything that you might have a question about. Whatever you got going on, you can come in and we can talk about it. See, this is starting to make me upset. I've been noticing that I've had an iPhone since the iPhone 4, and I have never ever had voice control, Siri, none of that on. But every time it updates, it not every time, but every once in a while the phone will update and then it'll start just being like, are you talking to Siri? I'm never talking to Siri. I don't have any devices that I need to talk to. Um, that's not really my lane. I don't care. But I just saw a thing on my phone that was like voice control. I don't have that. It shouldn't be nothing on here for that. And so, even though I just saw it on my screen, right? I just saw that it was doing voice control. When I go into voice control, it says set up that it's off. So, it says off. So, I don't understand why it would be everything is off. Don't piss me off. Guided access off. Shouldn't be nothing on in here. I don't. Where's the Siri? Let me make sure that's off too. Sorry, we got to do this because I can't be. I'm getting annoyed by it, honestly. I'll talk to Siri off. Suggest apps, all that's off. So what the hell is the voice control coming up for? I don't like that. I don't like it. Anyway, okay. So I'm sorry. I am off today. I'm gonna tell you that now. I'm just tired. I'm really, really, really tired. I just got off the boys' week, and then we went right into preparing for Juneteenth, and then all this thunder stuff and traveling and all that. Like I'm spaced. I'm done. Um, so on Thursday we'll have Sex Tech Thursday. That's gonna be at 12:30 p.m. And that's when we talk about different technologies in sexuality and sexual health, like what new stuff's coming up. And so this Thursday we're going to be talking about pH balancing smart lubes. Um, so that's what we're gonna be doing on Thursday. And then on Fridays, we just do late night with Coach Catasha. Fridays is at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so it's a little bit later if you can't catch it during the day. If you are catching the shows during the day, please make sure you have your headphones and all that stuff because we will be discussing adult material and mature content. And, I don't want anybody to be exposed to that. And I also just don't want you to get in trouble. So, okay. So, That's not what we was. That's not the screen that I put in there. This is the screen that I put in there. So why would you be? Everything's. It's probably not them. It's probably me. Like when I get to the end of my rope, I start messing up a lot. Um, that's why I have to like take off so much and like take care of myself. That's not what I need. I don't need the presenter view. I need this. Okay. Hoo-wee. All right, all right. Let's get it set up. So today we're just going to be talking about the different phases of your cycle. Your cycle is usually runs on a 28-day a 28-day realm, a 28-day cycle. Most people run on that 28-day cycle. Oh, let's hide that because that's not supposed to be there. Actually, this one is okay. Um, so that 28-day cycle is all throughout the month. Your body is preparing to make a baby. It is doing all the things, and in that time frame is actually there are phases that your cycle goes through, that your body goes through. So we're going to talk about those phases today. Just a light overview, not too much. We have another class where we get like deep into it, but this is just like just so you have an idea of what's going on with your body and where you are on that line. I really wish this was at the front. Can I do that? I'm gonna take it off and see if I can put it in there. Put it back in there. I mean, it's just gonna mess up when I. Yes, I do want to take that off, and then let's try to add it back. And it really bothers me that we're not able to layer the stuff because I would just like to move it to the front. I didn't want to like have to do all that, but I get it. Mm, okay. I want you to be able to see the words. Okay, I'm gonna just take this off because it's more important that you can see what's going on than all that other stuff. Okay. So today we're talking about period tracking for beginners. This is for anyone who has periods, but it's also for people who support folk with periods. It's I think I just seen something, a spider or something jump off of something. And oh no, there's a fly in here. I've been gone, so I have no idea. This is a dang fly in here. We did have a barbecue before we left, so had a little Juneteenth. Okay, you got to go. Bruce, can you bring me the zappy thing? There's a fly in here, and I'm annoyed, and I don't have time for that. Please. Yes. Of course, he flying all in front of the camera and embarrassing me in front of my friends. We had on Saturday. We had a little Juneteenth barbecue, so excuse me. Of course, I don't know where he is now. He probably heard me say fly swatter and took off. Son of a bitch. Yeah. Anyway, I don't like that either. Why are you making noise? Dang! Everything around here is making all the racket. Um, okay, so we're gonna be talking about the different schedules and stuff today. So let's look at our objectives. Where is that page? Ooh, I feel like I'm like literally on my last like 2%. Like the last 2% of what I have. All right, all right. Course objectives. After today's class, you're going to learn the stages of the menstrual cycle and learn the steps to identify your menstrual rhythm. We all have a menstrual rhythm. Most cycles are supposed to be around 28 days. They're supposed to run on a 28-day cycle, but you are looking at between 21 and sometimes 34 days. that it can run on your cycle. And so, but usually, whatever cycle it's on, if you are healthy, it should be like, if it's usually 27 days or usually 9 days or whatever, you're usually pretty on the spot. Now, there are some things that can, of course, mess with that cycle. Birth control and other kind of medications actually and we'll do a class on like what birth control actually does to the cycle another day, but those can disrupt the natural cycle of things. And so it will be hard to track your natural period and your natural cycle if you are taking medications to like help with heavy bleeding, endometriosis pain, or even just having irregular cycles, because some people just experience having irregular cycles, but most cycles move around a 28-day cycle. All cycles are not the same. So irregular periods can, of course, make it more difficult to track, and irregular periods are more common in minors than they are in adults. So like once you start getting up in age, it should become pretty consistent. So what we're going to be talking about today, the time frames may not line up with yours, but you're going to have to know what your cycle is and where you are on this schedule if yours is not, if yours is either longer or shorter than the 28 days. So phases of your menstrual cycle. So you have these phases and then you have some pieces in between, honestly. So you have your 28-day cycle is all. I know that when most people talk about their cycle, they're just talking about the time frame that they're bleeding, but the whole month is actually the cycle. You're going through your menstrual cycle every day, all month. Where you are in that cycle is different, but you're going through it all month. So tracking your period can be difficult if you don't really know or have the tools. So hopefully this guide can like make it a little bit easier to facilitate or avoid pregnancy, whatever you choose. Each body is unique and may not experience the same time frame, but it will have all of these phases. If you can find your rhythm, then you can track your cycle. Mine's is usually like clockwork. If I remember that I have periods, I'll be like, oh, okay. So there are 4 phases initially, but they are encompassed into 2 halves. Menstrual and follicular phases happen at the same time or close around the same time. The ovulation and the luteal phase also happen simultaneously. So we'll go through each so that you have an idea. Different things happen to your body during each period, so we will cover them all individually. Let me make sure I can't see the chat. Make sure. Okay, I'm good. All right, so your menstrual phase is going to be your phase 1. This begins on the very first day of your period when you see blood. So blood, tissue, and uterine lining exit the body through the cervix into the vaginal canal to be expelled from the body. That goes from day 1 through 7. Studies show that the average cycle runs between 21 and 37 days with a supported 28-day system. This menstrual phase is essentially the end of one full cycle, but the beginning of another full cycle. Last cycle wasn't a successful pregnancy, so the environment has broken down and it begins to exit the body. This stage usually lasts 3 to 7 days and is accompanied by a host of symptoms, including bloating, cramps, hormone fluctuations, pelvic pain, back pain, hot flashes, breast pain, bleeding, and weight gain or weight fluctuations. So usually during this period is when this is the part that everybody recognizes and knows as the period or as the menstrual cycle, but this is actually just a part of the menstrual cycle, because the menstrual cycle is working 24 hours a day, to prepare to alleviate, and that's what you do all month long, every month until you die. That's the cycle, okay? So second, it's going to be the follicular phase. It also begins on the first day of your period, or can begin on the first day of your period. Ovarian follicles start to begin to grow to start the process of making a baby. Ovarian follicles begin to grow to start the process of making a baby. The dominant follicle matures into an egg to be released. So that is going to be So once your period starts and the body realizes, hey, we didn't make a baby, we shed that lining and we start all over again. So the body, you have a finite amount of eggs in your ovaries. And I want to see, let me see if it shows. I don't know if we'll be able to see it. You can. Ooh, let's look at this. Okay, we gonna wait till we got to get past her because I do not watch YouTube enough to be do it. I don't do none of that. Okay, let's see.
Ovulation is a part of the menstrual cycle when the ovary releases a ripe egg, or ovum. Inside the ovary are hundreds of thousands of follicles. Each follicle is a hollow ball of cells with an immature egg in the center. The typical 28-day menstrual cycle begins on the first day of menstrual bleeding. During the first 7 days of the cycle, a few follicles begin to grow at the same time. These maturing follicles secrete estrogen hormone into the bloodstream to prepare the lining of the uterus for pregnancy. Around day 7, all of the follicles stop growing and begin to degenerate, except for one. This dominant follicle continues to grow and nourishes the developing egg inside it. Around day 12, the follicle secretes a large amount of estrogen into the bloodstream. When the estrogen reaches the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland in the brain, the anterior or front part of the pituitary gland releases a huge surge of luteinizing hormone into the bloodstream. Around day 14, luteinizing hormone causes the follicle to undergo a sudden growth spurt. Right before ovulation, the egg detaches from the inside of the follicle. The bulging follicle releases chemicals, causing one of the two fallopian tubes to move in closer and surround the follicle. The follicle swells until it bursts open, ejecting the egg and fluid from the follicle into the abdominal cavity. In response, the fimbriae, tiny projections at the end of the fallopian tube, sweep across the ovulation site and pick up the egg. Microscopic cilia on the fimbriae's surface transport the egg to the entrance of the fallopian tube. Inside the walls of the fallopian tube, muscular contractions gently push the egg towards the uterus. After ovulation, the egg lives for 12 to 24 hours, so it must be fertilized.
Oh shoot. Okay, I'm doing too much. Hold on. So that's what I wanted to. So here's the thing about that. About the follicular phase. You can sometimes, if you are in tune with your body, I feel mine every single month. You can feel when that happens. You may have a day. Okay, so after you have your period, you go the 5 to 7 days after you have your period. Then about maybe 4 to 7 days after that, somewhere in that time period, you'll feel what feels like a gas bubble. And if you ever had like a gas bubble, like you have that pain, it'll feel like it's on the front, but it'll feel like a gas bubble pain. That is actually your follicular egg, your follicular ovary letting that egg out of there, that bursting of that open. You can actually feel that. You will only get it from one day. You will only have that. You usually only have that pain for one day. There may be other circumstances where it could last longer, so let me not say that. But from what we know, like they said, it's going to last 12 to 24 hours. That egg moving up, that process is very, very small, like a very small window of time. But if you are in tune with your body, you will absolutely feel when that egg releases, like when it picks, and you can feel which side it comes from, if it's on the left or on the right. So that part of the phase, like I said, it starts at the beginning All of the eggs start, some of the eggs will start to grow, and then after a certain point, one of them will continue, but the rest of them will go back, will, go back, die back down. And you just do that every month. And again, that, if you are in tune with your body, you will know when you get to that phase. It's going to be after your period, but before your ovulation. Okay? The second phase is going to be the ovulation phase, and this can last up to 6 days. The increased levels of estrogen trigger the release of an egg that will travel up the fallopian tubes to the uterus, not down, up the fallopian tubes to the uterus. Ovulation technically only lasts 1 day, but sperm can live up to 6 days in the body. So that's why we say technically the egg lasts from 24 to like 30 hours, right? You only get a little over a day and some minutes with the egg. But if there is sperm present when the egg arrives, then you can still get pregnant. So even though you don't have intercourse the day of, or don't have any sperm to meet the egg the day of your ovulation, if you did it 3 days before, or you do it 3 days after, that, if that egg is still, if it's still in the time frame, if there's sperm present and there's egg present, they'll link up. They will link up. They will link up. And the other thing about the ovulation phase is that the ovulation phase actually creates an environment that is suitable for you to have sex and have that egg. It changes the acidity of your vaginal discharge. It changes your body temperature. It actually changes the size of your waist. Like, it slims down the middle of your body to make you more susceptible to being noticed and to have sex. Like, that's, your body is always working against you, and it's always trying to make a baby. But the circumstances have to be completely perfect for a baby to actually show up. So, that ovulation phase can be, it usually happens about 2 weeks after your period, or like 2 weeks before your next period. So, but it can happen within, remember, this is starting on day 1 of once you start bleeding. So once you start bleeding, the body starts the cycle all over again. So you could bleed for 7 days, and then on that 10th day, you could be ovulating. You could, on that 14th day, you could be ovulating. Any of those days in through there, you could be ovulating. So, you bleed for 1 full week, and then that next week, you're ready to make another baby. Like, the body's like, what are we doing? The egg is here. Let's go. What do we got going on? And then in that time frame, it's also like building up the uterine walls, all these things. The pain is described as a sharp twinge that you'll feel it when the egg releases. I seen a video of it like poofing out and going, like erupting, like the skin separating, and like an eruption, kind of like that picture happens. So you do feel that. If you are in tune with your body, you can feel that. Although the egg is released randomly, studies show that the ovaries may have a preferable side and release from one ovary more often than the other. So there is a preconceived notion that, each ovary delivers an egg each month. So the left one will go 1 month and the right one will go 1 month. That's actually not true. Your body has a preferred side. Mine's, unfortunately, is my left side. But your body has a preferred side that can release more often than the other side. So it's not just a one or the other type thing. It can split off from either one. You could probably go a whole year and just come off on one side if it wanted to. So So sperm can live up to 6 days in its less acidic new environment because the body has changed the acidity of the vaginal canal and the discharge to make it a more homely place for because semen and vaginas have a very opposite pH balance, and so vaginas are actually pretty neutral and semen is pretty acidic, or is it the other way around? Look, don't give me the line. Let's Google it. Um, I think it is. Yes. Healthy vaginas have a pH between 3.8 and 4.5, which makes them slightly acidic. Semen, on the other hand, is between 7.1 and 8, making it slightly alkaline. So, if you mix those two together, like those it's not supposed to go together. But during your period, let's see what the pH is during your period. The vaginal VH during menstruation typically increases and becomes more alkaline. What about during ovulation? During ovulation, vaginal pH tends to decrease and becomes more acidic, generally ranging from 4.5 to 5.5. 5.5. This shift is influenced by hormonal changes, especially the rise in estrogen, which causes a decrease in pH as ovulation approaches. So, the more acidic environment is thought to be beneficial for sperm survival and motility, which is sperm movement, as it enters the reproductive tract. So it actually changes. The vagina actually changes in response to um, the possibility of getting pregnant. So that's why they have you, like, if you are trying to get pregnant, they have you check your temperature. Your temperature goes up. They have you check the consistency of your discharge. You're looking for something that you can stretch apart and keep the line, like cheese. So normal discharge is watery. It doesn't really have any stick or slime to it. But when you get to that ovulation phase, it gets thicker and you can kind of like pull it apart. It's kind of like snot, you know. I know, but you know what I mean. So it has that thicker consistency and that kind of stretchiness to it. And all of these things are just what the body does in preparation for how it changes the environment to better make an environment to coerce you to have unprotected sex and make a baby. That's also why your hormones are like raging during that time frame. Like you're like, give it to me. Again, that's one of the psychological changes your body goes through because it wants you to make a baby. Like we're animals at the end of the day, and you know animals are here to procreate and to make a baby. In the environment wants us to have the best environment to make that baby. I have not seen that fly since this son of a bitch. I have not seen him nowhere. Okay, because you know what's up. I swear they know what that fly was. I feel like flies go to school and they learn about trigger words, and floss water is one of them trigger words, and then they know they need to get on. They need to get on the way for it with it. Because as soon as you bring it out, I swear they take off. I swear they do. Okay, come back though, because you gonna be back. Okay, next phase is going to be your luteal phase. Once the egg realizes that there's no one in the uterus to party with, the hormones drop drastically, causing the lining to break down and prepare for shedding. So this is day 15 through day 28 that your body goes through um, this phase of the environment that you created, all the luteinizing hormones, all those things have decided like, oh, the egg didn't stick. There was no sperm in there. So, like the lining that we made and all the stuff that we had going on and all the stuff we were building and preparing for, nobody's coming. So, break all the tents down, sweep up. We got to get it all out of here. And so, this is what you're going to be looking at for that part. If the egg was fertilized, your body heads in a whole new journey of growing a baby. You start to get bigger, your bones start to do stuff, and your hips start to spread out, and your nose get wide, and all this stuff happens. Um, if the egg was not fertilized, then the hormone levels pretty much bottom out, which tells the uterine lining it's time to go. So once they cut off the access to those hormones, the body's like, oh, okay, now, they didn't cut the lights on in a party, so turned the music off, so let's go. Later in this stage is marked by bloating, lower back pain, hormone imbalances, irritability, and low energy. The hormonal changes due to the levels of progesterone can cause anxiety and a host of other effects prior to bleeding. So once you see this as once you get to this phase, you're pretty much about to start your period. Like once you get past the ovulation phase and the body, everybody's like, oh, like in the on a sitcom, oh, and then everybody just starts shuffling, packing up, and then leaving loudly and cussing at the security guard on the way out, which brings you back to your menstrual phase, brings you back to the first phase, which is after this phase you start bleeding, and shedding that lining again, and so on and so forth. And so you go back through those changes, and start it all over again to get back at it. Okay, so let's look at some frequently asked questions. Can you get pregnant on your period? Yes, you can get pregnant on your period, because not all times that you bleed are going to actually be your period. And if your cycle happens early, like if your ovulation happens early, and not necessarily that you get pregnant on your period, but if you have sex on your period, the sperm can stay in the vagina. It has little places it can, hide out and hang out. It can live in there for a couple days. If you have sex on your period, that if there's sperm still present when your ovulation happens, if your ovulation does happen close to your period, say you bleed all 7 days, and then on day 10 you go have sex. If you had sex on day 7 of your period, and then on day 10 you ovulate, there's still going to be sperm left in there. So yes, you can absolutely still get pregnant. Now, are you getting pregnant from the egg that's like already in there? No, you're not doing that. You're shedding that one. It's gone. It's ready to go. But depending on how close you are to that time frame, to that ovulation time frame, and if there's sperm still going to be present in that area, in that little small time frame, then yes, you can end up with a baby even though you had sex while you were bleeding. Can you release more than one egg during the cycle? Yes, you can. You've seen people releasing more than one egg regardless. That's why twins and triplets and all these quadruplets and all this other stuff exists. So yeah, you can release more than one egg during the cycle regardless. Can you get an STD or STI on your period? Absolutely. And you also can, if you do that, you are possibly putting your unborn child in danger, because if your unborn child has to pass through your vaginal canal, they could also come in contact with that STD or STI, and especially if you have not received treatment. If you have received treatments for it, they can usually give you stuff that whatever you have, like, doesn't pass on to the baby. Depending on the condition, some stuff you can, and I'm sure some stuff you can't. But say for instance, if you're HIV positive, you can have a child that is not is not infected with HIV if they take the proper precautions. So yes, you can still get STDs and STI on your periods. You need to be wrapping it up anytime you are having sex with anyone, because STDs and STIs do exist. I know everybody's mostly just worried about kids, but you also need to be worried about sexually transmitted infections. And can you get your period if you are pregnant? No. And lots of people swear up and down they were having their period or having their menstrual cycle while they were pregnant. We described what a menstrual cycle was. So during the time that you're bleeding, your body is not only shedding the blood, it's shedding the endometrial lining that egg attaches to in the uterus. So you are getting rid of mucus, you are getting rid of blood, you are getting rid of clots, you are getting rid of lining, endometrial lining of the uterus. So a baby can't stick to that lining if that lining is not there. If that environment does not exist, the baby can't healthily stick on there. So you can have breakthrough bleeding, you can have like spotting and things like that. And if you don't have regular periods or you don't have difficult or hard periods, you may think that that's a period, but it's not actually a period. Breakthrough bleeding is common with pregnancies because, again, your body's going through a whole bunch of changes, but you won't be actually having a period. Like, you're not shedding that endometrial lining. You're not getting rid of that egg if you are already on your period. So, um, no, you should not be experiencing a period if you are pregnant. If you do see an alarming amount of blood, or you start seeing clots or something looking thick in your underwear, you are pregnant, you need to call your doctor immediately. Immediately. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you're going to get the care that you need because, depending on who you are, it might not help. But still, it's important that we know what's going on with our bodies and that we can advocate for ourselves and possibly save your own life, um, as well as, if that is possible, to save your own life and the life of your unborn child if you are trying to have a baby. So, um, those are some of the frequently asked questions. That is the breakdown on periods, how things work, what cycles you're going to be in. We'll do a deeper dive, and once we start talking about birth control, because I do get that question often, like how does birth control like stop you from getting pregnant. So we'll do that another day for sure. But that is our overview for today. um if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. You can send them to me to any of my social medias. If you want to if you're a little shy and don't want people in your business like that, I'm all about that. Let me put my info in here. Excuse me. Baby, because I'm finna go get in this bed. I don't care what time of day it is. I'm finna sleep until the sun go down. I'm finna be in the bed, baby. I don't. Oh. But we won a championship. It was a great time. I get to hang out with my sugar muffins and my mother-in-law. She was so excited. I love that for her. She got to see a championship. Um, okay. We're looking for our links. Here we go. And for my social medias, it's here. If you want to email me, you can email me any questions that you have for Ask Coach Catasha. We won't be here tomorrow, so don't look for me. I'm probably going to be in the bed. But if you want to send me any of your questions for Ask Coach Catasha, you can send them for our live chat. You can send them to my email, or you can, again, send them to any of my social media platforms. I will get them, and I will bring them back to the chat on Wednesday so we can look at them together. We can answer them together. That's the plan, Stan. Let's see what else we got going on. All right. Okay, let's see what we got in here. Okay. Um. Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I don't see no questions, baby. I'm finna go lay down. I'm finna go lay down. The city done told me up. I'm tired. I'm tired of doing stuff. I'm tired of moving around. I missed my friend's baby shower too, so I'm kind of sad about that. But thunder up. All right, man. I will see y'all Wednesday at 2 p.m. for Ask Coach Catasha. We will not be having a show tomorrow. We will not. So don't look for me, okay? I will see y'all